Hello friends, it's Colin. Last week for Mushi League, replays were down for most of the week, so I was unable to submit replays for my game. I did download them, as you can see. I've got it on the screen here. So I guess I figured I'd go over them and make it into a video to, well, for one, so that there's proof that the game's happened, and for two, just so I can, make a video going over the games. So anyways, here is game one, facing Void. Ment's lead versus my Metagross. I'm using a mag offense here. We both go to Suicune, see what's going on. And then we both go to Snorlax as our Suicune switch-ins. He curses. I'm just going to mash here to see what's going on. He goes right back to Suicune, and now I'm going to go back to Milax and going to fish for a para here with Body Slam on whatever comes in. It's a meta, don't get the paralysis, but that's okay. I decided to just stay in here because I'm looking at his team and I'm thinking there's not going to be like a Zapdos or something that I really need. Snorlax super healthy for, so I just stay in once because now I can mag trap the meta, and this is going to free up my HP Ice Super Celebi, so that worked out great, and he's going to bring in Salamence immediately versus it, which is perfect, exactly what I want to see. Fire Blast doing less than half, HP Ice taking out the Ments, and now my Subsalic Heracross is looking very dangerous, and this is how I'm going to get it in. I'm going to go to Metagross, and as he brings in Suicune, I'm just going to double in Heracross, and boom, the game is won. So I SD, he surfs, doesn't do half, and Megahorn is going to just delete this Suicune. He goes to Claydol. I was wondering if his last was going to be a Hera of his own or Tyranitar, but by going to Claydol first, told me it was probably a Tyranitar because, it couldn't take on Heracross. Missed Megahorn, he DDs, but that's okay. I have a full health Metagross and a full health Suicune that can still take it on as long as Suicune doesn't get, flinched. It can even it should be able to take 2 Rock Slides, I think, as well, so just need to not get flinched twice or crit flinched or something. Now this ending is actually kind of awkward because I calced and I couldn't switch Snorlax into Body Slam. I just need to get my Snorlax in and boom on this thing. That's how I win the game. But I couldn't switch it in right away because Body Slam could para, and then I would also be in range of being killed, and if he had return, if he just clicked return straight away as well, my Snorlax has 100 speed, so it's gonna outspeed most Snorlax. 100 speed stat, not 100 speed EVs. But I didn't want to risk anything, so it was kind of awkward. I just didn't want to let it I don't know if it was rest. I obviously didn't think it would be rest on this team, but just wanted to play it super safe. So as you can see, I surfed, then switched in Celebi to just sack the Celebi and get Snorlax in freely, and boom, and that was game one. It was very quick, very simple. Executed the game plan of the team pretty much perfectly. Got basically the best matchup possible, honestly. So yeah, that was game one. Okay, so here's game two. I'm using a take on the team that many of you have come to call El Clasico. I go to Skarm, facing Tar, turn one of course, and he goes to Pert, which is amazing because it means I'm going to get some layers. Let me fix that. I'm going to get some layers. And he goes to Skarm now, which is perfect because I'm fast with Taunt. And so now I'm going to roar just to see what comes in. And it's a Starmie. So here I'm going to go to Gengar, which this is potentially a mistake. I'm going to pause actually and talk about this. It's potentially a mistake. I was trying to I was kind of hoping. Well, it's sort of a mid ground because either he brings Starmie in again, and if it meets a full health Gengar, it's going to mean that basically it's never spinning in this game because it's just going to be too weak. And if he stays in with Skarm, then Gengar can, punish that too. But this also means that he can potentially get a Drill Peck off, which, let me unpause actually, is exactly what happens. I T-Bolt, and he Drill Pecks, and so now this means that also the fact that he reveals Taunt on Skarmory means that the Starmie is going to be an offensive Starmie, because you would never use Taunt Skarm plus defensive Starmie. It makes no sense. And that means now that this part of the consideration was that my Gengar has a lot of Spadef, so it can really take on, and it also has Giga Drain, so it can take on defensive Starmies really well. But by him Drill Pecking, even with all this Spadef that I have, it can't really switch into off me, or not. It's not going to switch in anyways, but you know what I'm saying. It can't take on offensive Starmie anymore, really. But I think I still overall like this play, and I don't really regret it. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that. So he's got to switch out here, and that means I'm going to go back to my Skarmory because something just like this is probably coming in, and now I can get up my third layer, and I don't really even care if Starmie comes in because I can probably at this point just take it out with Drill Pecks. He Leech Seeds, I'm going to go to Arrow as he leeches again, which is a nice play. But now I'm just going to double back to Zapdos because it's going to take on basically whatever comes in. And I am max modest special attack with HP Ice, so the Celebi is not going to be an answer here with 3 spikes down. T-Bolt does 25, which means Ice is probably a roll, which I get. Excellent. He brings in Swampert. And I can't just stay in. I have Toxic, which, it would be nice to Toxic the Swampert because I have, I have a DD Lefties Tar and an Arrow. So I'd like to just, get Swampert down. There's not going to be a second Rock Resist on this team. I'm thinking it's going to be, affects another fast Spikes Punisher, and it is, in fact, Arrow. But I couldn't stay in on the Swampert with Zapdos because I need the Zapdos' health to take on Starmie, pretty much. So there's a bunch of switching going on. I bring in Skarm versus Arrow because I figured, okay, so let me talk through this. I knew there was no way he's just going to click a move with Arrow. And if he does, Skarmory is fine anyways, but I figured there's a high chance that the Starmie was coming in. I actually considered just going to Zapdos, but I figured that I was in such a lead that I really didn't need to, and that this would be fine anyways. Excuse me. He does get the spin-off, and then Drill Peck is doing 35, so I can just kill the Starmie here, and the Spikes War will be won permanently. But what happens is he T-Bolts, gets a para into full para. Absolute disaster. That is the thing that he needed to have happen. Now I have to go into Swampert because I have no better switch in, and I have to Surf. I'm Mono Pert with Refresh, by the way. He Spikes, and then I don't get the roll on the Skarmory. He Toxics. Again, I'm Refresh Pert, so it doesn't really matter, other than it's going to allow him to surf me down here, which is going to help his Arrow and Tar, of course. I'm going to get some health back. And I really can't actually switch into this Swampert that well because my fucking Skarmory is paralyzed now. So I just decided to Toxic it here. Maybe I potentially should have just let Skarmory go without Toxicing the Swampert. I don't know. Um, Gengar's back in here now. Nothing can really switch in. Here goes Tar. Takes the Giga Drain quite well, actually. I've got a lot of special attack investment on this Gengar. So I'm going to go to Tar of my own. And just going to click Earthquake here, not going to play any games as he brings in Swampert, which is perfect. Get more chip on that. My arrow is that much closer to potentially winning. Back into Gengar, doing this game again. Nothing can switch in. And you know, if he does switch in arrow, it's getting worn down. And it can't do this forever. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to switch Gengar into Pert again, really, because it's going to be in Torrent the next time. I see here by this Rock Slide damage that the arrow is not banded, but there's nothing I can really do about that, so I just have to let Tar go. Swampert's in. Gonna Surf. And then, unfortunately, his Swampert is faster than mine, which means it has kind of a lot of speed investment, actually, which is really annoying because now it means that I kind of have to let something go to this Swampert because I need the health on Swampert to take on his arrow without the game coming down to a speed tie. So now I'm going to go into arrow just to deny him being able to go to arrow, basically. And getting the damage on Tar so that Zapdos can just claim something here. And it does take out Tar. And now he has to go to arrow. I can't stop him from subbing, but Swampert is at such good health that it can take this thing on. Protect. He reveals he has Double Edge. Sometimes they have HP flying, which would have been better here for me. Surf. Now he pretty much can just go to Starmie freely here because I have to protect. I have no choice, which is going to make this awkward. But it's fine because he is Surf off me, which means I can live, and then I can take out the Starmie with Surf from Pert, and he's going to be able to kill. By the way, right here, I don't protect, and I don't know why. Like, literally, I was just tunnel visioning the game because I knew that he was going to need a flinch to get past my Zap because non-CB arrow does not Oko Zap with Rock Slide, but there's literally no reason why I shouldn't have, like, I don't know. I just tunnel visioned the end game here. Misplay. I should have protected, and it potentially would have been a roll for me to live, which would have given me another out. But again, I know that Zapdos can live a Rock Slide, so it's just flinch or no flinch. But again, literally no reason to not protect there. He obviously can't punish me with a sub at 14% health, and he gets the flinch, and so that is going to allow him to win the game. Unfortunately, if that if that full para sequence never happened, this game would have been so easy, but that happened, and yeah, so now it's going to force game 3. So here's game 3. I'm using some pretty standard Fortress stuff. He leads Skarm. Not going to play any games, just going to go to Fortress. He brings in Milotic, which is telling me Skarm Milo, he's probably not going to have... Oh, gotta fix this again. He's probably not going to have a mag, which is excellent news. I just go to Blissey. I'm a CM Bliss. It's kind of awkward to play against Milo with my team without Sand up, so I'm just going to CM and start T-bolting. He reveals Bliss, so I'm thinking there's definitely going to be a Doug on this team, so I got to be aware of that with my Bliss. Going to bring in Tar just to get the Sand up on Pursuit Tar, of course, with Fori as he T-bolts. Now I'm going to go to Swampert. I'm a Mono Pert again with Refresh, so it can sit on Blissey basically all day. He goes back to Milo, and I'm going to Toxic it just to make it reveal if it has Refresh or not. Really nothing to lose by doing this. So we both refresh off each other's Toxic. I'm going to go to Blissey just to pivot a Gengar in, which can take on my low tick now that the sand is up quite nicely. This is the exact same Gengar set that I was using last game. It's Taunt Wisp, T-Bolt, Giga Drain with a lot of special attack and a lot of special defense. So I can just Wisp whatever comes in. Blissey is perfect because now I can taunt it to keep it from healing. And now I'm going to go to Tar, threaten a Brick Break on it, but he actually switches out to Claydol. Again, I'm Pursuit Tar here, so I'm just going to get a Meaty Crunch off here. And he spins, which means that this Claydol is basically dead. And he booms here to bring his Dug in, which this is all like perfect because now my Fortress is just going to be able to do whatever it wants, basically. I'm going to go to Gengar and just click Wisp again because nothing seems to want to switch into that. Blissey, again, at this point I'm kind of ahead, so I'm thinking like I can just taunt. I don't need to play around with prediction games. As he reveals Sableye. And again, I'm quite special attack invested, so I can literally just two-hit KO this thing with T-Bolt. He knocks me off, which is somewhat annoying, but should still be fine. I'm just going to Wisp because, again, nothing can really switch into that. Giga Drain, I don't think he's going to Soft Boil now that I've revealed. Taunt, so Giga Drain just gets me a little bit of health back. He goes to Milo. Now that my Gengar is quite low health. I double Fortress in here because, I just want to get the spikes up at this point. Spikes are what is going to win the game for me. Make it, real easy against that Milo. He knocks off Fortress, which is fine. He's going to recover, which is fine. Just getting the spikes up. Tosses. I'm going to spike again. Swampert can just, wall this thing. It gets knocked off, which was actually a pretty nice move by him. I'm going to bring Fori in because Skarmory kind of has free entry. I'm a Zap Cannon Fori. And he's going to bring in Doug against that. And I have EQ as well, so now this Doug is dead, essentially, because it can't switch into spikes. I'm going to go to Mence. I'm a mixed Mence with Wish here, which is pretty devious right here because I get to Wish to Gengar and get it back to full health. He brings in Skarm. Gengar's in. At this point, I kind of just don't really care. I'm just going to start T-Bolting. Oh, I taunt first. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. T-Bolt, he gets Spike up. Don't care. Protect. I'm getting worn down by the sand because of the knockoff. But at this point, I don't think it matters. He sacks Doug to spikes. Gets Skarman again. He's trying to, wear me down to where the Milo can potentially, take on the Gengar. And then hopefully it can just wall everything. But Milo's in. I'm just going to taunt. Surf's not going to kill me here anyways, so if he went for that, that is. Giga Drain gets some health back. And yeah, even if Surf killed at that point, I think my Mence was ready to win the game. And again, I'm just going to keep T-Bolting here. I don't really care if he recovers because Mence is going to win either way. And I get a para. Not that it matters. And that's the game. So that was again, about as ideal a matchup as you can get. I think he kind of didn't really know how to play the team. I think I could say that. But yeah, GG's anyways. Got the W for the Slackers.